It's always a delight to have you join us for the news at 10 on NTA News 24, live from Abuja. I am Vivian Ezadefi. Let's take you through some of the stories that made headlines this morning. Rivers State conducts local government election, fills vacuum created by Supreme Court annulment of August 5th. National Economic Council Subcommittee meets on crude oil production. NTA's Director General assures of strengthening industrial relationship. Let's begin with Rivers State. Election into the 23 local government areas of Rivers State is ongoing to fill the vacuum created following the Supreme Court annulment of August 5th local council election of 2024 for non-compliance with the law. Kingsley Amajiri is monitoring the exercise and is joining us live from Port Harcourt to give us an update. Hello, Kingsley. Can you bring us up to speed with what is happening where you are now?
All right, I would like to bring you to date what exactly is happening across the 23 local government areas of the state. We are actually in Port Harcourt local government area, which is one of the 23 local government areas that this election is happening. Before we got to this location, this is exactly, we are at MNK Junction, this is Ward 15, and here at this hall you have over 5 polling units located at this very particular place. Before we got to this local government area, Port Harcourt, of course, I want to establish that there are 2 key major local government areas that make up the Port Harcourt metropolis. That is Obiakpor local government area and the Port Harcourt City Council area. When we visited Obiakpor at 8:30, the electoral officials were already at the polling units, and they also display the voting materials. And before we left that local government area, voters were just trickling in 1 or 2 to cast their ballot. And we now visited the Port Harcourt local government area, which is the second local government area that make up the metropolis. From the various locations, we've gone to Lagos bus stop, and we drove through Aba Road and Ikwe Road down to this MNK street. Here we have this voting unit. We'll see what we have observed is that election actually has not started at the polling units in Port Harcourt local government area. The electoral officials are still distributing the voting materials to the various polling units. Behind me, you could see some of the RISEC officials are moving the material to the hall, but voting actually has not started in Port Harcourt local government area. And in other parts of the state, I also been in touch with some of my colleagues who have also monitoring this election in those areas. In Gukana specifically, I can tell you specifically that voting actually has opened in Gukano local government area from the report my colleague just gave me. Across Port Harcourt, I would say the city is calm. We saw security agencies, operatives at the various polling units monitoring this election. We have not recorded any kind of incident. Just like, you know, when it comes to elections in Rivers State, there's also this palpable fear of violence. But for this election, we've not recorded such incident. I would say the security operatives are also moving about to ensure the maintenance of law and order. For the voters anyway, some of them are also milling around the polling units within this axis, waiting for the commencement of this exercise here in Port Harcourt local government area.
So beside the calmness, what else did you observe, and how is the turnout?
For now, what I've observed, even like right from that Obiakpor local government area to the Port Harcourt local government, the turnout for now is very low. Very low in the sense that when you compare it to other elections, by this time, this is after 10, we have seen quite a number of persons troop out to this polling unit queuing to cast the ballot. At Obiakpo, I will be specific there, where the voting process has also had already commenced before we left there. As at the time we left there, you see one or two persons come, they cast their ballot, they leave. You see one other person come. We have not seen any queue as at the time we left there. But here, I would say some electorate are already here, but it has not started. But when you relatively compare it to some previous elections, the turnout is relatively low.
Thank you, Kingsley. We'll get back to you much later in the day as the election progresses. Let's now join Robinson Jaratede to bring us another update from Rivers State.
At Ikwere local government area. As you can see, election has started, although there is a relatively low turnout of voters in most of the polling units we have seen so far. Their home materials arrived quite early, around 8:30, and voting and accreditation are commencing simultaneously. But the number of voters arriving is quite low, but we believe that in time, with time, they will still come. And one of the voters here who has just cast his ballot is here to speak with us. What's your name, sir?
I'm Mr. Innocent Ezekwe.
Okay, you've just voted.
Yes, I just
voted.
voted.
What is your experience?
The experience here, I believe the voters are coming and going. So the issue is a free, fair exercise. As you can see, I just did mine. I'm about leaving. So likewise, other voters.
Okay. Did you face any issue?
No, there's no challenge. There's no issue at all.
Okay, so with the look of things, voting and accreditation is going on quite all right, and there is no issue on ground. But generally speaking, there is relatively low turnout of voters as at now.
Thank you, Robinson, for the updates. Let's move on to other matters now. The National Economic Council Subcommittee on Crude Oil Theft says the federal government is making far-reaching impacts on the increase of crude oil production owing to less interference with the daily production benchmark by activities of theft. Chairman of the committee and Governor of Imo State, Hope Uzodinma, says governors of oil-producing states have been instrumental to the feat and promise to sustain periodic meetings in assessing progress of the national assignment. The committee commends President Tinubu for ensuring major reforms that now attract investment by key players and pledges to promote community cooperation.
And NUPRC, the regulator, and we are satisfied with the presentation given to us by the management of NNPC and their work plan. And we wish to engage them again before our next meeting to be able to fashion out a meeting point to ensure that Nigeria begin to produce at least 3 million barrels a day as promised by Mr. President, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. We also jointly commended the wisdom and foresight of Mr. President in making some changes in the industry and the close supervision he has deployed to the industry, which is now yielding this result.
The governors are optimistic that the nation will prosper better under the renewed hope agenda that gives priority to subnational and grassroots administrations. The Petroleum and Natural Gas Senior Staff Association of Nigeria, PENGASN, wants the management of the Petroleum Technology Development Fund, PTDF, to channel efforts at research that will help find lasting solutions to some of the critical challenges facing the country's oil and gas industry. PENGASN President Festus Osifo made this demand during an inspection of the newly established College of Petroleum and Energy Studies, Kaduna established by the Development Fund. Joseph Osen reports.
The Petroleum Technology Development Fund has for long shouldered the training of thousands of professionals working in Nigeria's oil and gas industry with huge financial implications. But that financial burden is about to reduce with the establishment of the College of Petroleum and Energy Studies in Kaduna. The development excites the Petroleum and Natural Gas Senior Staff Association of Nigeria, PEGANSON. Led by its president Festus Osifo, the union is on the tour of the facilities set to commence postgraduate courses by September, while appreciating the impact the fund has on building capacity of the workforce.
This is an institution that gives scholarship for people to study abroad for free. So as this one is here, their MSc and PhD program will be, every student here will be offered scholarship. So there is no issue of affordability because they will be offered full scholarship. But if the scholarship in a year is to send 20 people abroad, but with this, they can train 200 people in Nigeria with almost the same skill that you could obtain abroad.
To date, we have sponsored over 15,000 Nigerians at undergraduate and postgraduate levels, both within the country and outside the country. We have also intervened in a number of institutions in the country. We have upgraded facilities that relate to oil and gas in 26 universities across the country.
PEGANSON is hoping the college will lead research on areas that are affecting productivity in the industry, such as oil and corporate theft, and mitigation against environmental degradation in the Niger Delta, with its attending consequences. Joseph Osen, NTA News.
And to education now, the Minister of Education, Dr. Tunji Alausa, has cleared the air concerning agreement between the Federal Government of Nigeria, FGN, and the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, noting that the last formally signed and binding FGN ASU agreement was in 2009. In 2017, the then Minister of Education, Adamu Adamu, inaugurated a renegotiation committee which produced the draft NIMI-BRICS agreement in May 2021. However, this draft was never signed by the federal government. When the minister stated that there had been no new signed agreement with ASU, he was specifically referring to the 2021 NIMI-BRICS draft, which remains unsigned but serves as the most recent framework for discussions. Thus, the 2009 agreement remains the last signed document. The ministry reaffirms government's commitment to resolving the 16-year settlement with ASU in a sustainable and constitutionally backed manner, as it urges the public to disregard misinterpretations. We will bring you more reports after this timeout. Stay with us.
Every component is crafted with care, and each design is meticulously tested. From concept to creation, our engineers push the boundaries of technology, seamlessly blending performance and sustainability with a deep commitment to African ingenuity. Introducing the CNG Boss, a remarkable achievement in engineering designed to operate on compressed natural gas, a cleaner and more sustainable fuel alternative. At Innocent Vehicles, we proudly lead the way in creating greener mobility across Africa. And it doesn't stop there. From SUVs to sedans, spacious buses to electric cars, Innocent offers a wide range of models designed to meet every need. Innocent Vehicle, the pride of African Road.
This is NTA News 24.
Welcome back. Aside the Digital First initiative and the quest to enhance content, harassment, intimidation, and general welfare of media workers, especially those of the NTA staff, are concerns the new Director General Rotimi Pedro will contend with. Not only were these concerns raised when the chairman of NUJ and Ratau NTA chapter met with the new management. The assurance to address every issue raised and strengthen industrial relationship were also heartwarming. Charles Alpha reports.
Come rain or shine, these media workers remain steadfast in their mission. From camera operators and editors to anchors and field reporters, they work tirelessly, often through the nights, to keep the nation informed while others sleep. Despite their critical role, many media professionals continue to face poor welfare conditions, limited protection, and operational challenges that hinder their ability to perform effectively. It is within this context that the concerns of media unions such as the Nigeria Union of Journalists and Ratau have grown increasingly urgent. Their engagement with NTA's new management here is a push for reforms that prioritize the well-being, safety, and professional dignity of those who serve the public through journalism. While the two union leaders, NTA headquarters, congratulate the Director General NTA and executive directors for their appointment, they are excited about the Digital First initiative and vision of the DG. Yet, it was an opportunity to vent concerns from welfare, incentives, and improved remuneration to harassment and intimidation of NTA staff. The union chairman, NTA headquarters, laid bare the issues. Only recently, former NAWAJ President Ladibala of NTA was harassed and intimidated for carrying out her assigned duties, and this is one of many NTA staff nationwide faced over the years.
DG, we also will want you to, amongst your plans, to please take staff welfare as a priority, as it were.
Issue of harassment of our staff has become a recurring decimal. We had one in Maiduguri some times ago when our reporter was attacked during court coverage, and then just yesterday, our reporter went to the incident where we had a train derailment and she got the worst of her life. So we want the management to please address some of these issues.
Again, new on the job, but not so new to the system. The DG, Rotimi Pedro, before this engagement, as he puts it, was already engaging his management on how to improve welfare, develop NTA content house, and other issues raised by the union leaders to restore dignity back to labor and put a bit more focus on staff rather than just equipment.
Quite over the years, I believe NTA has focused too much, particularly on kit, equipment. It's now to turn it around to a content house. A content house meaning that people, not just the equipment, and to get the right people to operate the equipment and to get the best output out of NTA would mean a good union, in a good industrial relationship. And I think there's a strong foundation to build on that. So I believe in that totally, and the management, which I lead now, would reflect that in the whole thing. The welfare is also quite key.
As for support and delivery of the Digital First initiative, members of these unions are reassured that they are more than ready to make it happen. Charles Alpha, NTA News.
Zamfara state government has flagged off an oral cholera vaccination campaign to prevent the spread of the deadly disease. The exercise, which kicked off in Bugundu, targets 6 local government areas mostly affected by the cholera outbreak. Correspondent Haliru Muhammad has more.
Zamfara State has in recent time been grappling with a rising number of cholera cases, prompting stakeholders to take measures to reduce the spread of the disease. This is an oral cholera vaccination campaign launched in Bungudu local government area as part of ongoing efforts to protect residents from the deadly disease. The campaign, which witnessed the administration of vaccines to children, will cover 6 local government areas mostly affected by the outbreak, namely Anka, Bungudu, Gusau, Shinkafi, Talatan Mafara, and Zurmi.
This campaign is a critical step in breaking the chain of transmission, protecting our children, and safeguarding our communities.
In their separate remarks, the state coordinators of National Primary Healthcare Development Board and World Health Organization, as well as representatives of UNICEF and RWASA, among others, described the vaccine as safe and effective.
The agency is continuously striving for a future where no child dies or is limited by the harmful effect of cholera infection.
Ensuring food items are covered and protected from flies before domestic use, cooking food thoroughly and washing fruits and vegetables before eating.
The chairman Bungudu Local Government Council, Nura Umar Abdullahi and Emir Bungudu Hassana Tahiru, commended all stakeholders for their prompt response to the outbreak while advising the public to adhere to preventive measures. The campaign emphasized the need for people to avoid open defecation, ensure regular hand washing before eating and after using the toilet, among other preventive measures against cholera. In Gusau, Halir Muhammad Umar, NTA News.
And still talking health, ahead of the nationwide flag off of the measles, rubella vaccination exercise in October 2025, the National Primary Healthcare Development Agency in Nasarawa State is sustaining advocacy and strategic engagement towards ensuring a heat-free exercise. Victoria Ujito reports on the one-day stakeholders' engagement in Lafia as part of commitments to ensure smooth takeoff.
Stakeholders drawn from both traditional and religious bodies, with the inclusion of representatives from both private and public organizations. The aim is to ensure representatives carry the message down to the grassroots and ensure caregivers avail their children during the campaign. The Executive Secretary of the Nasarawa State Primary Healthcare Development Agency, Usman Saleh, underscores the important role stakeholders need to play to ensure that over 1.3 million children in Nasarawa State are vaccinated during the campaign.
Your work, most importantly, is mobilization. Mobilization, because at your territory of work, we are expecting you to do more than enough. We are expecting to have very good coverage in this measles rubella that is coming.
With Nigeria having the second highest cases of measles rubella, the Nasarawa State representative from the Health Sector Reform Coalition, Dr. Hadizatu Aliu, says the target for this year's campaign is to ensure 95 to 100% children from age 9 to 14 years are vaccinated. She explained that the vaccine exercise will take place at designated public health facilities and temporary vaccination posts at no cost.
Has measles right now. That one person can go on to spread this measles infection to 9 out of 10 people. That's how contagious measles is.
The State Health Education Officer, Mr. Ishaya Amegwa, says advocacy, communication and social mobilization strategic plans for measles rubella is to ensure myth and misconception are dispelled. Measles rubella are two contagious viral diseases with almost similar symptoms and can be fatal. It affects unvaccinated children under 5 years, pregnant women, elderly people, and those with weak immune system. After the campaign from October 4th to 13th, measles rubella vaccine will be part of routine immunization for children aged 9 to 15 months. In Lafia, Victoria Kaswa Ojito, NTA News.
President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has reiterated the commitment of his administration to the development of young talent and sports in Nigeria. The president made this commitment while declaring open the 9th edition of the National Youth Games in Asaba, Delta State. Godfrey Nzekwe reports.
It was a sight to behold at Stephen Keshi Stadium, Asaba, Delta State, as athletes from 36 states and the Federal Capital Territory gathered for the opening ceremony of the 9th National Youth Games. The opening ceremony started with hosting of games flag by officers of the Nigerian Army, preceded by parade by the respective states, led by Abia State, and finally, the host and defending champion, Delta State. Declaring the ceremony open, the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, represented by his special advisor, Media and Public Communications Sunday Dari commended Delta State government for its contribution to the development of sports in Nigeria.
We saw Mr. President and the First Lady come out very forcefully to support our sportsmen and women, the Super Falcons and the Tigers. By that demonstration, they were able to show that they will continue to invest in sports, invest in our sportsmen and women, and support sports development in our country.
The governor, Sheriff Oborewori, represented by the Speaker, Delta State House of Assembly, Emomo Timuguo, applauded the president for finding Delta State worthy and assured him that the event will be a memorable one.
This is more than a sport. It is a celebration of our young people, of unity, and of the prosperous future that Nigeria owns. Sport speaks a language that goes beyond tribe, religion, or background. It brings us together as one people with shared dreams and victories.
The 9th National Youth Games will end September 6, 2025. In Asaba, Godfrey Nzekwe, NTA News.
And that concludes the news at 10 on NTA News 24. Thanks for watching. I am Vivian Ezadifi. Don't forget to join us at the top of the hour for the news update. I'll see you shortly then.